2020 is the year of pandemic. Due to coronavirus, shutdown of businesses, wildfires, hurricanes, unemployment, our lives have changed. What to do? Join us and learn how ultimate career leap with Vakassia J. Niles, or many prefer to call her VJ, as career and business strategist and founder of the Niles Group. Welcome everyone to today's Meaningful Conversations. Hi, my name is Sylvia Fime. I'm the president of NAWMBASeattle. Today, my co-hosts are Lynette Garcia. Lynette, how are you?
Good, great to have VJ here with us in another meaningful conversation.
Awesome. So Lynette is our marketing director. And we have another co-host, Nari Weaver. She's our head of graphic designing. Hi, Nari.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. Good to see you. And today we have a very special guest. And you can see here is VJ Niles. Hi, VJ.
Hey, Sylvia. Hey, everybody.
So happy to see you.
Yes, good to see you. It's been a while.
Yes. Are you in New York?
Yes, I'm currently still in New York.
Wow. Hi, New York. Hi, everyone. So how have you been? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. We just lost Lynette a little bit.
It's okay. Technology's going to mess up from time to time, but we're okay. But I've been good, thriving through this pandemic, just trying to help as many people as I can during these challenging times. How are you?
We're hanging there. You know, we had some really crazy wildfires. So we're being pretty much locked down, not just because of the coronavirus, also because of the bad pollution out here. So back to today's meaningful conversation, VJ. VJ, I know you're a career and business strategist and you're the founder of the Niles Group. Can you tell our audience a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. So I am an MBA. I've had 4 careers, IT, insurance, higher education, and human resources. I've also owned 4 businesses, this being the 4th one. I enjoy helping people kind of figure out what their next step is, what their path is for their career, help them starting a business. I like to travel. I'm going to be moving out the country soon, hopefully. And I don't know, I like good food, good conversation, and good people. So that's a little bit about me in a nutshell.
Well, you've been in the business industry for 20 plus years, and you said from your LinkedIn profile, you have changed 4 different industries, not just 4 jobs, but 4 different industries. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So I went to school for IT. I started out working in higher education when I first came out of school. So I've worked in higher education. I've always used my IT skills no matter what industry I worked in, but I worked in IT. I think it was, I don't remember the order, but I know I started in higher education. At some point I was in insurance, went back into higher education, was doing more IT work, then did just straight IT work. And HR was the last career that I had. And that's the only one that I wasn't really strategic about going into. I just kind of fell into it. I switched that one in 2008. Well, after the 2008 recession. So 2009 or 2010, I started back working. Yeah, 2009. I was unemployed for like a year and a half because of the recession in 2008. And I happened to land a job in HR. I was doing recruitment and I really, really enjoyed it. And, I was always helping people with resumes. I mean, I've been writing resumes since I was 15. So 27 years I've been writing resumes. So wow. I was always doing that. But like with the career advice, people were always asking me different questions. And because I had worked so many industries, and even within those industries, I worked at small companies, large companies, like mom and pops, Fortune 500. So I ran the gambit, and I knew a lot about how to maneuver through each one of those types of companies. So it just like made sense that career development was the path for me. And I kind of stopped liking recruitment as much as I did. So I just focused in on career development.
Wow, excellent. So we did a webinar for us a few months ago about ultimate career leap.
Yes.
Can you maybe give us some highlights about that webinar?
Sure. So to do the ultimate career leap requires 3 steps, which are I teach people how to position their talent, because we're always focused in on our job titles, but not exactly what we do. And like, you can say a job title, but if somebody doesn't do that job, they have no idea what that means, right? It's like, oh yeah, I'm a business analyst. And it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like, think about it. Prior to this pandemic, did anybody actually know what a teacher did? Now, if you have kids, now you understand. And now it's like, wow, like they do so many things, right? So I teach people how to position their talent, not so much their job titles. I teach people how to do networking, or bonding, as I like to call it. And I call it bonding because for some reason that word networking freaks people out. And I want people to be comfortable with it. And it's like, learning how to have conversations, and then tapping into the resources around you, which is also building a professional board of directors, which consists of mentors, accountability partners, sponsors, and advocates. So I break down kind of what each one does for you in your career. You can find a mentor and accountability partner, but you have to get noticed by sponsors and advocates. So I kind of talk about how to do that for each one throughout the webinar.
Wow. So you tapped about having kids. I know, Nari, you have 2 kids, am I right?
Yeah, I have 2 kids, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So kindergarten is a thing.
So how you manage with this entire thing? Like now they have to basically they have started school last week, and how's everything doing?
I mean, he has a little office right next to mine, right? It's a little bit hard because now teachers are asking them to be a little bit more independent, but he does have ADHD. So he has to sit, and he has to have like a military person next to him to make sure that he sits. I wish I would have glue just to stick glue in his pants and put it in his chair, but nope, that's not happening. And there's a lot of activities that kids just don't know how to do it. And they don't know how to read either. So when the teacher is like, okay, well, now you're going to go grab the homework journal. And they're like, huh? So I have to go grab the homework journal and just hand it to them and all of that stuff. I guess it gets easier once the kid knows how to read. But other than that,
you're graduating with them. You're sponsored them in this situation.
Kinder again.
VJ, in this situation, the parents are becoming the sponsors or mentors or what?
They are the accountability partners because they're helping keep the kids accountable. And like, I actually have some clients that are teachers. I don't have any kids myself. I have other people's kids. And it's difficult because I've helped my ex's son do homework remotely. So that's been fun, trying to explain math, especially I don't understand new math. I'm like, old math wasn't broke. I'm not sure why you all fixed it, but okay. But I've also helped some of my teacher friends, and I have some clients that are teachers. And like one particular client, she was like, I really wish I could just set my lesson plan for the week. And I think she's in middle school. And she's like, but like, I'll have this thing in my mind, like, this is what we're going to do. And on Monday I get to school and it's like chaos, and that doesn't work. And she's actually teaching in the classroom. I think half of her kids are in the classroom and the other half are remote. And she's like live streaming while she's teaching in the classroom. So even for teachers, it's like the struggle, because she's like keeping the kids in person engaged while she deals with the ones who are remote and vice versa. She's like, it's just crazy. So everybody's kind of adjusting to this. Like I taught one of my friends Zoom probably back in April, and she does special ed. So she was like, this is definitely going to be challenging. But I was like, you have all the power right now. If you tell these parents you need these kids at like this time, they will put them in a bathroom and lock them in just for the quiet. So, you know, I was like, you have all the power.
Talking about power, is this a great, meaningful conversations with VJ Niles, which is a career strategist. What is your superpower? How do you discover it?
So my superpower runs two ways. Let's say you have this big picture in your mind, but you just don't know the pieces of it, right? Like here's your big puzzle, but you don't know the pieces to put that puzzle together. I can help you break it down to the pieces to put that puzzle together. Now, if you only have pieces, but you aren't sure of the big picture and the big puzzle, I can take your pieces and turn it into the big picture. So my superpower runs both ways. So I'm able to help people do that. And it's funny because they're like, you get it. It is, you make it sound so easy. And I'm like, yeah.
That's your superpower.
That's my superpower. So I have some clients, like they might have a business idea. One client in particular, we were talking about her resume and I was like, what do you want to do long-term? And she's like, well, long-term, I really want to start my own business. And I was like, okay, doing what? And then she told me, she's like, but I'm not really sure how that works or how I can make money from that. And I was like, do you want to know how? And she's like, you already know how? I was like, yeah. And then like in like 7 minutes, I gave her like this whole big thing. I'm like, oh, you can do this, this, this. And then you got this and this, this. And she was like, oh my God, VJ, yes, that's what I want to do. And she's one of my clients. So we do to help her do her business. And then I also did her resume. So, and it's like just figuring out how to go hand in hand with that. That's like my superpower. I feel like people need help getting their dreams out there. And some people know their dreams and just need that help, right? Like this is my big picture. I just don't know how to get there. And some people are still figuring it out. So I help the people on both ends. If you're still figuring out and don't think you have to have it figured out by, some certain age, you don't, because you can change your mind. I know a lot of people that are not doing anything that they went to school for. Right?
That's so true.
And sometimes people, like, especially like younger people, they get stuck in but I went to school for this. So what? So what? Change.
I hear you.
That's what I said. I've changed careers 4 times.
And changing is the big thing.
Yeah.
So VJ, you mentioned networking and bounding. What are the two definitions you can tell us?
I know the word networking freaks people out, right? And even in my presentation, I have like pictures of people like from horror movies screaming and hiding in corners, right? Because they hear the word networking. So that's like the visual for some people. Even for people who are outgoing, like people hear networking, and I don't know if it's just this image of like a bunch of men in suits passing out business cards, or it's like it's a race to collect as many business cards as possible. Like that's not networking. It's really not. So to make it less painful and strenuous, I tell people it's bonding, because you're building a relationship, right? You want to bond, right? Sylvia, we met at one of the NAWMBA conferences and we bonded. We didn't necessarily networked, we bonded, right? We had a couple conversations. We ended up going out to dinner with a bunch of other people, had more conversations. That's literally what networking is. You're bonding with people. You're getting to know a person. And it's not just about, oh, hey, I'm a business analyst. Yeah, I'm a financial analyst. Oh, I do this. Like nobody knows what that means, right? So it's all about getting to know somebody and understanding that you're putting the negative to the word. And you just need to kind of change your association with it, right? And I know a lot of extroverts are like, oh, I hate going to different things. And I'm like, listen, just because you're an introvert does not mean you can't go networking. It doesn't mean you're automatically shy because you're an introvert. It just means you have to protect your energy. So you're not going to be at the event from the start to the finish, but you can go for 75 minutes and then have a plan. I want to talk to 5 quality people before I leave. If the event is huge, have fun. Make it a game. Pick a color. I'd like to be like, all right, I'm talking to people in green today. Like I was at this big event, a couple hundred people at it, and I saw this lady in the corner, and I'm like, sweetie, you can't network if you're in a corner. And she's like, but I don't know what to say to people. I don't know who to talk to. I'm like, come on. So we talked for a couple minutes, and I said, all right, come on. And I saw this man in his blue tie, and I liked the shade of blue of his tie. So I walked right over to him, and I'm like, hi, I'm VJ. And I was like, and this is such and such. And we had a conversation. And then I said, all right, I'm moving on. And she said, did you know him? I said, no. She said, well, what made you choose him? I said, I liked his tie. And she's like, that's it? I was like, yeah, I liked his tie.
But that's a trick.
It's a trick right there. Even if you see somebody in an outfit you like, oh my God, I love your dress. I love your shoes. And you started a conversation. So, like, what do you do? Where'd you get that dress from? It's just, you're having conversations. So I teach people how to bond and to take that away from them. Make it a game. Like I said, my introverts love that. I'm like, don't pick a crazy color. Don't be like, oh, it's got to be like coral peach or some craziness. Like, just pick red, pick pink, pick blue, or I'm talking to people in polka dots today. I'm talking to people in flower prints, just do something like that. Your goal is to talk to 5 people and leave, especially if you're practicing and you're trying to get the hang of it. When you're good at it, you're very strategic. You go to an event, you know what type of people are going. Maybe you want to connect with the speaker. You build a strategy around your bonding experience. So when you're at events, you know what to do. Now, when you're doing it virtually, which is, of course, now what we're doing with this pandemic, it's the same thing. You reach out to people on LinkedIn, right? If you're on something like this, you're listening to a webinar. Oh, I want to connect with the speaker. Find the person on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever they put up as their way to connect with them. I saw you on the webinar. I thought it was really informative. Thanks for your time. And I would love to get to know a little bit more about you.
Okay.
Or virtual coffee.
Oh, that's true. I like the idea. Virtual coffee. Yes. That's awesome.
You do virtual coffee, virtual happy hours, whatever's your favorite drink, you do that. It's tea time, like, hey, let's have tea time, and you just get online and you just have a conversation. And, sometimes we might be zoomed out, but when you have one of those bonding conversations, I probably had like 6 during this pandemic that should have been 20-minute conversations that went for 2 hours because me and the person just clicked. And we're both like, okay, I gotta go. And then one of us would bring up something. Right. And it was just like such a fun conversation to get to know the person. And, and we still in touch and, we refer stuff to each other. I know one of those people is also a speaker and she's looking for a speaking gig. And I saw something that I was like, this is right up your alley. Like, let me forward this to you. You build a relationship.
Exactly. We did the other night, like we talk about movies. VJ, we did a talk about like Korean movies, the zombie movies.
Nice.
That was a while ago. Yeah. And I thought, okay, that's a, great way to start a conversation. People who doesn't love movies might not be the same interest, but definitely a lot topic to talk about.
But you can always ask somebody, what are 3 things you're passionate about? And that's a good trick too. Because when you ask that, somebody's going to say either food or travel. Right, that always pops up in like 90% of the responses is food or travel, if not both. Who doesn't love to eat? So now you're having a whole conversation, especially like if you're local. Oh my God, have you tried the new restaurant on such and such street? They have such amazing this. Or, can you give me a recommendation for that? And now not only is this person a business analyst, they're also a foodie that you can reach out to for, a food recommendation. I have a couple of people in my network like that. A guy I used to work with, I'm always hitting up David like, okay, I need a food recommendation, because he's a foodie.
They know where to go.
Right.
Because you are the one connector. How do you become that person that you are the linchpin of the groups or of the connection?
Well, it's about just having fun with it. So you meet lots of people. And I think I probably am that person because I do know a lot of people in a lot of different industries, a lot of different things, but I just talk to people. It's probably a skill I learned from my mom because that woman would talk to everybody, everywhere we went. And she used to deliver mail in my town. So we would go to the supermarket and she wouldn't know your name and she'd know your address, right? Like,
that's fantastic.
And I would just take the cart and just go like get all the food and she'd still be talking. And we had a business together where I used to sell scented gel wax candles and she did floral arrangements and like at craft fairs. She was always talking to people and not even like to get them to buy, just to be like, hey, how you doing? Sometimes it'd be a lot of older people there. And she realized, she's like, a lot of these people haven't spoken to anybody in like a week or 2 weeks. Their family might not check up on them. So, she'd just be like, hey, how you doing? And she'd get random sales like that just because she talked to somebody. And I was like,
you never know, right?
Right. I was like, that's how you get good customer service. And like, you never know who you're talking to and what they can offer you or what you can offer them just from having a simple conversation that just starts out with, so, hey, how's your day? Or what brought you to the event? Or, that was a really good speaker. Like, what did you think? What little nugget was a takeaway for you? And then it just kind of adds to it. And then when you tie it into your career, now that you have this network, when you're ready to look for a job, you reach out to people and you're like, hey, I'm looking. They know you. They know what type of person you are. They know about your character. So then they're like, you know what? They're hiring at my company, or I know this company over here is hiring. Let me make an introduction for you.
True.
That's so easy. And for you build the relationship.
Right.
Well, you have to build it first. That's the first thing ever.
Yes. Yes.
I think that Nari has a question. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Nari. Hello?
I'm like trying to, I'm like
find the right button.
Hit the screen.
Don't worry, we're the same shoe.
I know. So I found that I can identify. I'm more of an introvert, and you know, I didn't know the cues about clothes and, you know, like keep it simple and stuff like that. It's interesting. On my perspective, I always thought that, you know, when you do networking is that you have to sell yourself, and it's not about, you know,
about them.
Be relaxed. And
right. That's like people have that idea from like the 50s, maybe from watching Mad Men. I don't even know. It's like you got to be, you know, pitching. But do you want to be pitched at the first time you meet somebody? No.
No. Hated.
Right? No.
Hated.
Right. So if I came up to you and I'm like, hey, Nari, how you doing? You know, what brought you to the event? So, you know, what do? You're going to be more relaxed and you're going to talk to me. And then even if you want to pitch to me, I've relaxed you enough that you feel like maybe I can pitch to her. You know, but if I'm just like, hey, you want to buy insurance? You're going to be like, whoa. Whoa. That's too much.
We're going to have, at this point, we're going to have social distancing right away.
Right. Get in my space. I can't. It's too much. Right. You know, so you have to keep it relaxed because you want to build a relationship. And that's how you build the relationship. It's just keeping it simple. We overcomplicate things. And what's that acronym? KISS. Keep it sweet and simple.
Right.
Love it.
That's awesome. And, you know, any advice to our audience to get, you know, like more visibility from introvert to not introvert?
Well, it depends. How do you want your visibility? Now, if you want to do it via social media, you can do it that way. If you are moving your career or your business, please be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the place for that. One way you can do it, or a couple of ways you can do it on LinkedIn. Post content. Don't be afraid to post content. I know we're all trying to find like the perfect thing to say that's going to go viral and get millions and millions of views. Who cares? Just say what you have to say. You have a voice, right? We've all wanted a voice. We have a platform for our voices and we won't use them. So use your voice. You're going to resonate with somebody. You're not going to resonate with everybody, and that's okay. The people that you resonate with will find you. Use hashtags on your content that are relevant to the content so people who follow those hashtags can see it. Engage. Now, if you're not ready to, if you're like, whoa, that's a little too much, VJ, I can't just start posting content. That's a lot. Okay, fine. Comment and engage on other people's posts.
What is the trick on that one?
Say that again?
What is the trick on that one? Because maybe, as you were saying, people feel like kind of shy or just exposing content and just see that it's complicated. But commenting, it's just easy.
Commenting is very easy. And at some point, you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And so even though I'm an extrovert, right? And even though I'm also an extrovert that sometimes just doesn't want to be bothered with anybody, leave me alone, right? But I'm an extrovert. I have no problem going out, meeting people, talking to people. I never wanted to do video. You can put me in a room full of like hundreds of people, tell me to get up on stage and talk, no problem. But me doing videos, nah, nope. Was not trying to do videos. I think
watching your video.
Right. And I now have a weekly show where I'm usually live tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not going live tonight. I will be back live next week. And I do my show, which is called The Ultimate Career Leap. And I went from not wanting to do videos to having a coach go, VJ, do a video. Go on Facebook, do a 30-second video and introduce yourself live. I was like, fine. And I did it.
You did it good. You did good.
But I knew to get to the next level, and this was like almost 2 years ago. But to go next level, you have to push yourself. So if you want visibility, you have to decide what's more important to me, staying hidden in the shadows, or do I want to step into the light? And the shadows might be comfortable, but it's cool in the shadows. It's nice and warm in the light. So you have to be willing to step into the light. You have to be willing to grow yourself, right? I mean, Steve Jobs was a huge introvert. You know,
No.
And
Yeah.
how he deals that, because he feels so comfortable, at my perspective, to be exposed.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but you never know. I mean, people still, it's just because you see an extrovert that's out there doesn't mean they're not still nervous before they talk. Doesn't mean that they don't
True.
still, people who succeed they still have fear. They just do it in spite of the fear. That's the difference between like the ordinary and the extraordinary person. The extraordinary person says, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to do it anyway. Right? Like, success, fail, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it anyway because at least I tried. And so if you're ready to get uncomfortable or get comfortable in the discomfort, as I call it, you know, and let go of your comfort zone or just stretch it out more, you'll be willing to do it. If you have a why and a purpose for what you want, like, you know, you have 2 kids, Nari. If those 2 kids are your why for everything, you're like, I need more visibility. I'm going to get more visibility. If I get more visibility, I can give my kids more. I can free up my time. I can be a better mom. I can do more with them. You know, there's no stress about finances because my business is growing because I push myself into the light. So sometimes just like the why is enough to push you further. Because, you know, sometimes we're like, well, I'm going to wait a couple of months and I'm going to, yeah, you know, we hem and haw and back and forth and la, 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 you know, we make things difficult. You know, I mean, listen, I've done it. I can't say I haven't done it. Trust me, I've done it. I made like online courses the most difficult process in the world, and it is not. It's not. But I made it the most difficult process for about 2 solid years. I didn't need to do that. The 2 years went by, and I could have had the courses up, but I didn't because I complicated it. But once I was like, why are you complicating this? You need to do this. You know you want to do this. Do it. It became so easy. So it's just a matter of like clicking. Once I make that decision and say, yes, this is what I want, nothing stops me.
It's like you have to conquer the fear, right? So that once you conquer that, then you can move on forward.
Yes. I have like a bully in my head that talks to the little fear. So when the fear tries to say stuff, the bully comes along and like, I'm going to beat you up. And so the fear runs away. Right. It's like, no, I don't have time for it. I mean, things still freak me out. Things still scare me. And I'm like, but we're going to do it anyway.
With fear. Doesn't matter. Bring it on.
Just, I'm like, you just got to come for the ride. Come on. We're going to do this. You know, like I said, I didn't want to do videos. Like something like this, no problem. I'll do a webinar. But I mean, I have a weekly show now. I'm like live for an hour every week. And I've been live every week since December of last year. I think I've missed 2 weeks recently, maybe 3 weeks in total since December that I have not gone live. So,
so you just move, you just move it.
Yeah, I just do it. I'm like, this is what I want to do. I wanted to increase my visibility. So I said, okay. You know, and one of my accountability partners was like, people need to see you. Like, you need to be on video. And I was like, oh, fine. I was like, fine.
Well, that's the norm. That's the norm. People like to see, picture and graphic, to be able to connect. Words, it's powerful, but, when you see the video or see the person like what we're doing now, it's more powerful.
Right, because then you have a sense of who that person is. Like you can see their personality more with the video. So that's my recommendation. If you're ready to push yourself forward, just do it in spite of the fear. Then because the fears after a while is like, man, she's gonna do it anyway. Like there's no fun. So the fear stops.
And it's encouraged you to do more.
So before we end today's meaningful conversation, VJ Nile, we do have our webinar with VJ up on the YouTube. We will provide the link later after this conversation so the audience can go back and watch the webinar. And Nari, Lynette, do you have more questions for VJ?
So far right now, I'm just happy listening all her joy and all the wisdom that she has been just saying to us.
Oh, thank you.
That's been awesome. Thank you.
Good. I am so happy. I love to see that, to give that value. Like that's what brings me joy. So I'm very happy.
Love
Great.
the Zoom coffee. I love that. We're
Zoom
definitely gonna do that more often.
Zoom tea time, Zoom happy hour. Like me and my friends would be like, hey, let's do a Zoom happy hour. And
Exactly.
it's
We
like,
need to
grab a glass of
connect with
wine.
people.
That's it. That's all it is. It's just start making those bonds. People are, sometimes you just need to check in on your people, and you need to do it like this, and just be like, let's jump on a Zoom, let's jump on a Google Meet, FaceTime, whatever. Like, how you doing? How are things going?
Totally.
And
Yes.
that really builds the relationship, because you're not asking for anything. You're just like, how are you? We've been in lockdown for a bit. Things have come better. School, check in on your parent friends, because they're having a hard time right now.
Oh yeah.
They're having a
My
hard time.
parents. Yeah, I hear you. So
So,
Lynette, you have
Yes.
VJ's
Contact.
links where
yes, please.
contact where people can reach VJ.
Yes.
We have
That's
a
important.
meaningful conversation quote that it goes along with this amazing interview that we have with VJ, and it's come from Carl Buechner, that it says, they might forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. What do you think, VJ?
Yeah, it's very
Nice.
true. People always remember how you made them feel, right? They can forget what you said, but if you left a positive mark on somebody, they'll never forget it.
And this is it. If you
Yes.
want to connect with VJ Niles, LinkedIn is just /VJ Niles. And you can email her at VJNiles @the Group. Also, you can go to her website and look what she has for you at thenilesgroup.com and just connect with.
This
Yes,
is a
and
great opportunity.
I have a major announcement coming tomorrow about some new stuff that I'm dropping. So definitely follow me on LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram as @the Niles Group.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait. VJ,
Yes.
I'm looking forward for your announcement.
Good. It's been a pleasure talking to you, ladies. I'm glad we got to do this. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you, VJ. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And see you next time. And we have another awesome talk with Venus Rekoff next week, Tuesday. Stay connected.